With me, it's not so much the hardships that these people had to suffer where the music came from, or the lives that they had to leave, whether they went to prison or had to pick cotton. It's the music that came from their experiences that knocked me out. And I just wanted to try and do what I can to keep some of that music alive, you know?
I said my father was a minister with the Presbyterian Church. My brothers do well in business, no success in uphill search. My mother was a pianist, her time was classically spent. I'm a Canadian prairie boy, play the blues to pay my rent. What am I doing here? A life out there full of pick and choose. I'm so glad when I decided that I just choose to pick the blues.
Well, I first met Dave actually through his sister-in-law, Kim. Dave's brother, Grant, and Dave picked me up and we went to a social where Dave proceeded to entertain me for the evening with his plethora of jokes. So the next day when, my stomach hurt, my face hurt, well, actually my whole body hurt, and I thought, geez, what was I doing last night? Oh yeah, laughing for like 4 hours straight. I thought, well, that wasn't so bad.
What time did you get in? Do you remember?
9:15, something like that. You guys are gonna be there then?
Oh yeah, we'll be in Clarksdale. But yeah, we'll pick you up there and bring you back to Mississippi. Then, Watermelon Slim will have it all laid out for us. What we're going to be doing over the next couple of days. I think I play on the 12th. I'm so excited about playing with Watermelon Slim. Slim is a brilliant guitarist, a brilliant harmonica player, and an amazing storyteller. We are going to have a concert put together that we can perform as a duo.
I wish I could be around Dave when he's in Mississippi, because he will be so enthusiastic about, absorbing this culture that's down there. And the first time you go down there, it changes your life. If you're a blues artist who loves this kind of music, to be in the Mississippi Delta, to be in Clarksdale, to be in Greenwood, to be in Helena, it just opens your eyes and makes everything have a lot more sense in a way.
Dave has a lot of dreams, and I think there's many unfulfilled, and so this being a huge part of what Dave's life has been in the blues, and the opportunity to be there and to feel a part of it, the history of it was, it just made him happy.
Oh, are you kidding? I just want to take a big, deep breath, and I want to smell the air that Muddy Waters smelled. I'm very excited about that.
Dave didn't realize till we had met for breakfast on Sunday that you were leaving the next day. And it seemed to me that I recall that Monday was the date, but Dave kept insisting Tuesday. And so I just look at him, because comes a point you just don't argue anymore. It's just like, okay, you'll be surprised, and oh well.
Well, the thing about Dave and blues, there's some people who are triflers, and the thing about Dave is that Dave has never been a trifler with this art form. Dave has absorbed it into his soul, his brain, every part of his being, every piece of living that he does. It's about the blues. Okay.
I was born in Yorkton, Saskatchewan in '52, and then I think I lived there till I was about 4. Then we moved to Moose Jaw. My father was a Presbyterian minister, and so he had a church in each place, and then they offered him a better job in Winnipeg. I used to love listening to music. I always loved it. My mother was a pianist, and we constantly had people in the house, you know, standing around the piano singing, and she used to put on, you know, professional shows. I always liked it, but it used to drive me nuts when I was trying to go to sleep and there'd be somebody doing an Italian opera in the living room, and I'd be... I've been going to see her every morning for probably the past 3 or 4 years, and I mean, she used to live in a seniors complex on Pembina Highway, you know, in Fort Garry. I would go there every day and have coffee in the morning with her and get her groceries if she needed some, or see whatever supplies she wanted. But I would go hang out with her. I mean, she became one of my best friends. But Pearl was always very supportive. And later on, I got to record with her, you know, a couple of albums ago. We did a Lightning Hopkins gospel song. And my father being a Presbyterian minister, gospel was right up our alley, you know, and they loved it, you know. They loved the music, they loved the song. And my mother did a wonderful job of, you know, covering my butt while I was singing out of key. You remember doing that song back in 2008, Needed Time?
I certainly do.
The Lightning Hopkins gospel song. And
That was one that really touched my...
I know, that's right. Well,
And,
being a preacher's wife for 60 years, I guess gospel's got to be dear to you.
well, it wasn't that so much as thinking about these people and their run-down places, and
Oh, in the deep
they
south.
didn't have anything.
Yeah, true enough. Depression.
Anything but the real thing.
I am so excited about staying in Springfield, Missouri tonight, because I'm hoping we get to go see where Homer Simpson lives with Marge and the kids. Walked into a bar the other night, about this long and this round, and heard like hell. Walked into the psychiatrist's office, he's buck naked, he's wrapped in cellophane. Psychiatrist looks at him and says, I can clearly see your nuts. This guy walks into a bar, he's got a great big captain's steering wheel off a ship attached to his crotch. The bartender says, holy smokes, he says, what's that? And the captain says, I don't know, but it's been driving me nuts all day. You know, only the devil can change my baby's mind.
Dave sat around the home, yes. I think he started out as as I suppose, a classic case of the blues man. He was looking for something to do, I think. Yeah.
And growing up in Winnipeg, believe me, finding blues was a difficult thing to do. It was a very limited little arena for that music. Like even finding blues records, like if you weren't the first one in the store when they got new stock, shit out of luck.
Yeah, there were a couple of record stores that had a fair selection of blues, but there was one in particular that would let you even open a record and go into a little room and listen to it. And they were just gambling on, that you would probably buy it. And in my case, I usually did.
There was only, 4 stores I think I'd go to, and Dave would go to the same one, so would Gordy. And after a while, I started seeing his collection, Gordy's collection, and seeing every album that I should have had, that this guy had, or Gordy had. And I thought, this is unfair.
I was at the Mariposa Folk Festival in Toronto back when it was on the island. And I'd gone there with my brother, and I had like a $5 guitar, which I didn't really know how to play hardly anything on it at all. Well, nothing, to be exact. And I just thought it'd be cool to have this guitar. And I went there, and I was watching a John Hammond show, and I got up to go to the bathroom, and he started playing Preachin' Blues on the slide guitar. Where he just starts chugging like a locomotive. I mean, there's so much power and so much passion. And, it knocked me out. I'd never heard anything like that in my life. And I just froze like a deer in the headlights.
Come on, baby. I'm in the blues. You got me now.
Maybe a couple hours after his show was over, I saw him sitting under a tree, just relaxing, in between his sets or whatever he was doing. And I walked over and I said, "Excuse me, I don't mean to bother you, but I said, I've never heard music like that played in my life." And I said, you just knocked me right out. And is there any chance you could, give me a quick lesson on the basis of the blues or something? I know nothing. And so he put it into open D tuning, and he taught me how to play "I'm a Man" by Bo Diddley in about 10 minutes. Just bum, 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 bum.
Mid-50s, there came the rock and roll scene, and Alan Freed put on these rock and roll shows in New York, and I was 13, and I used to go see Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley, and that just flipped me out. And buying their records, they recorded for the Chess label, and I saw other artists on the Chess label like Muddy Waters and Howling Wolf, and so I went and got their records too, and a whole new world opened up to me.
Oh, just like you found me, you can put me down.
And Dave was just like, like me. From that same, loved the music so much, that's all he wanted to do. And we became friends right away.
Yeah, gee, you're looking great, man.
Well, I feel pretty good for an old guy.
Johnny Shines is talking about Tampa Red having a big dog named Buster. After his wife had passed away, he started really getting into the bottle pretty hard. And he would pour a 26 of scotch into the dog bowl, and all the blues guys would come to town that stayed at Tampa's boarding house would try and outdrink the dog.
Oh, God.
And they couldn't do it because it was like some big dog, Johnny Shine says he's walking down the street one day, and he says he sees Tampa and Buster the dog coming down the stoop. And he says he sees Tampa Red walk over to a tree, and the dog lifts up his leg and falls over because they're both pretty lubricated. But Tampa Red didn't even crack a smile. He held the side of the dog and lifted up his back leg. The dog went on the tree. And I thought, yeah, man.
Well, I was involved in a documentary film about this. It's called The Search for Robert Johnson, and we met all these people that he had, you know, hung out with, traveled with, Johnny Shines and Honey Boy Edwards. And in the 30s, in the country, the rural areas, if you didn't sing church music, then you sold your soul to the devil. That was just a common expression. Oh, he sold his soul to the devil. He's playing blues. So, I mean, that's just bullshit, you know.
Great. I can hardly wait to see Memphis, too. That's going to be wonderful. And then all Inabina and all the Mississippi towns. Hopefully, I want to see Friars Point if we get a chance. You know, Robert Johnson's beginnings were there, and Greenwood is where he was murdered. Maybe we'll get to see the infamous crossroads. Although I don't think the devil's driving a terraplane anymore. He's probably got like a Dodge Viper or something.
I'm going down to the bottom, drive my milk cow home.
It's not a popular music, it's a genre-specific music. The people that love it are wonderful people. They support Dave, and they support people like Dave who are dedicated to the music and do it so well. The summer festivals are great. You know, you get a lot of opportunities if you're somebody like Big Dave McLean to play a lot of different festivals all over the country and outside of the country. And then the rest of the year is always a struggle.
Utah Phillips put it best about this whole issue of the money. He said to me one day, he said, Mitch, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to be made in folk music. And, you know, he was about right. You know, there's no money in this business.
My father's, you know, when I told him that's what I was going to do for my life, he said, "You're making a big mistake." That's the first thing he said to me. And it took a few years for him to realize I wasn't going to starve to death. No, it isn't easy to go out on the road. It isn't easy to sell yourself as, you know, a musician. It's hard. It really is hard. You got to really believe in yourself and the music and take your lumps, you know, because it isn't easy. It's
boom, there it is, the King Edward Hotel, where we spent the night last night.
What, the cockroaches?
Yeah, complete with roaches. What do you got there, Dave?
This is the Maui Wowie ham and pineapple with extra cheese.
Oh, wow. Good pizza? Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Wonderful.
No, that's what started there. Check this guitar.
Snowfeld diesel. Here come the counter post. Joining my diesel blues. All right, good evening, everybody, and thanks for coming down this evening to the Times Change High and Lonesome Club. This is the Buddy Tones, myself, Big Dave. We're going to run through some country blues. We're going to start off with a few originals, then drift through some of the old standards that we have grown to love over the years. Woke up this morning, feel around for my shoes. I'm on my head to mean old walking blues. When I woke up this morning, I feel around for my shoes.
When I first came across Dave, my friends and I, back in the late 80s, he was a mythical hero to us. We were just discovering blues, and we just thought, wow.
I'm being mistreated, Lord, I don't mind dying down.
You're dealing with a guy who is raw passion. He is raw talent. I mean, when people say Dave's the real deal, yeah, he's absolutely the real deal, and being the real deal is being completely true to yourself.
Forgy, Saskatchewan is absolutely, in my mind, it's just a little jewel, a little music community in the south of Saskatchewan. And anybody I talk to, they say, what's it called? It's Forgy. They say, how do you spell it? I said, forget. Forget, forget Saskatchewan. There's so many nice folks there that are involved in the music community. They have 5 or 6 different music teachers. There's only about 50 or so people that live in Forgy.
Most of the people here share a philosophy, and it's not about the money. It's never been about the money.
Exactly.
And that's why we moved here. I mean, we've only been here for 3 years. We built this house, but we built it, for house concerts, and we built it for my studio. That's why there's the separate entrance for all my kids to come in and.
Is that cool or what?
It's hard to make a living when you're a musician. It's hard
I know.
And when you're paying for hotels and you're on the road and you've got food and if people can just have a port in the storm as they're going through,
I hear you.
It makes it more possible
And
for
as a
people like you to
traveling
make
musician,
music.
God bless all the people that think that. You and everyone else that wants to support live music that way.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's so important to the rest of us that are slugging it out in the ditch. Ken Ham is one of Canada's finest blues artists. He's a brilliant slide guitarist. He and his wife are both luthiers also, and own a music store in Forgy. And it's a small little music store, and it has some of the most classic instruments, because Ken knows, the quality.
Oh, yeah.
tank looks a little heavy.
Not as heavy as a...
How much can you lighten that up there, Ham?
Well, I don't know. You got cash?
Robert Johnson in his voice. Yeah, the Rolling Stones in his right hand. Well, Robert Johnson in his voice.
They also had us, each one of us would go to one of the local towns. And I'm not unfamiliar to playing at schools, you know, I have to dumb down the show a little bit because some of these songs are pretty hard-hitting old blues songs, and, you know, I could play them in the bar and they'd be more accepted than playing them in the high school. And then when I got to the school, I found out that the auditorium was where I was playing, and I wasn't just playing for the high school, I was playing for everyone from kindergarten to the high school kids. And I thought, wow, this is gonna be a lot of instrumentals, you know, it's like a long introduction. So what I ended up doing is I ended up playing, I mean, I told the teacher that. I said, you know, this is gonna be tough because, you know, a lot of these songs are about the harder side of life. And I don't know if, you know, 5-year-olds need to have that shown them at this time in their life. I had a ball playing for them, even if I did have to dumb it up a bit, you know, just because I felt better doing that. I wasn't doing it for them, I was doing it more for these people standing on the wall like this, you know, like prison guards. You know, I've done that before too, you know, played in Stony Mountain Penitentiary where they're all just kind of staring at me, you know. Yeah, we'd like to hold you over for maybe a year.
You know, it's like, you know, people get involved in music or sports and they get totally involved. And Dave, when he was a kid, when I first met him and I was a kid, the one thing I knew about Dave is that it was for real, that there was no bullshit. This was a real guy who loved this music. And so I just try to work with him every chance I got. I heard him at a club somewhere, or at the university, I can't remember what, it was with him and his brother. It was with him and Grant, and what impressed the shit out of me was that it wasn't, you know, like, okay, white guy plays the blues, but they were doing field hollers, right? They were talking, the music was like real, and it was like connecting, it connected with me real quick, right? I thought, this guy's a genius. I thought, this guy's a genius. He loves the blues, and he really has it in his heart.
When I met Dave, I didn't know he was Grant's brother, I don't think, right off the bat. Dave was pretending he was from the South. He was talking with a Southern accent. And I can't remember where he said he was from. I've heard Louisiana or Mississippi, but it doesn't really matter because he wasn't from any of those places.
I had a 12-string, which was almost loud enough to compete with his National Steel guitar. And we worked out a kind of a blues that based on Robert Johnson and Elmer James stuff that had a lot of power. In fact, we blew the sound system at the Calgary. What was that, Calgary Folk Festival in 1977, I think it was.
I guess it was back in the 60s. My brother had a duo with a fellow here in town. Actually, he'd had a couple. He had one with a guy named Doug Enns. Then later on, he teamed up with a guy named Jim Marnock. And the two of them had a very popular kind of folk act playing around town. And I was a big fan of theirs, you know. I'd always been a fan of my brother's guitar playing. He was a crazy good guitar player. He and Jim would be putting on shows at the university and this and that. And Jim's younger brother, David Marcoux, he and I formed a duo. And I didn't know how to play guitar or anything yet. I was playing a bit of harmonica, and I played washboard and kazoo, and we did jug band tunes and this and that, and had fun. It was a fun little thing we threw together, just play once in a while. And the first paying gig I ever had was at St. Nick's Cathedral here in the North End, the Winnipeg, and we got $5 each. And we thought, oh man, you know, whoa, they're giving us money? You know, this is great.
The first record we did with Dave was in 1999, and it was produced by Colin James. You know how much Colin respects Dave and credits Dave for opening the door and being part of, you know, his love of blues. Really, Dave was the guy that kind of took him under his wing in many ways, invited him on the stage at jam sessions when Colin was a young teenager, and really encouraged Colin James.
Oh, God, yeah. I was about 8 when we met, right?
I think you were 9, yeah.
8 or 9, yeah. Yeah, because I remember the first time I asked you to...
So back in 1999, Colin wanted to open his own studio in his own place, and he came to me and he said, you know, I'm going to have my own studio. I want to kind of test it out, kick the tires, and do a project. And he said, I can't think of anybody more worthwhile than my friend, you know, Big Dave McLean. Would you be interested in releasing this if I put it together and produced it and got all my musicians and everybody involved? And I said, absolutely. That'd be a great project.
Colin James, top notch.
Muddy was actually the predecessor of the whole Chicago blues scene. He was the guy that set the tone. His band was the band that everybody wanted to be in, the band that everyone wanted to hear at the time. They were called the Head Cutters. That's how good they were. They used to walk into bars just to embarrass the other bands that were up on stage.
I met Muddy in 1977 at the Winnipeg Concert Hall. I was the opening act for him by myself, and I was very, very nervous. He called for me after I had performed my show, and he had written out a note to pass on to me that said, Dear Dave, thank you for the fine warm-up set and for playing the blues. Yours truly, Muddy Waters. It's one of my most prized possessions, you know. Yeah, that meant the world to me. And then I had the opportunity to play with Muddy again in 1980 at the Saskatoon Auditorium. And the day that I was driving from Winnipeg to Saskatoon to open for Muddy, I wrote the song Muddy Waters for President. And I don't know where I got the nuts to pull it out and perform it at this concert hall. But I thought, well, where better to sing a song about Muddy Waters than at a Muddy Waters concert, you know, opening for him. Everybody's there to hear Muddy. And at the end of the song, Muddy sent for me to come to his dressing room. He said, what are you doing writing that song? I should have wrote that song. And I said, well, Muddy, I said, as long as somebody wrote it, man, I think it's just something that needed to be said. He says, President of the Blues. I like that. I like that. Says, B.B. King's chairman of the board. Muddy Waters, president. He said, I like that. And so I went, yeah, wow, right on. You know, this is pretty cool. Then he says, well, Dave, I'm performing in Winnipeg in 2 days from now. You know, do you think you could come to Winnipeg and maybe bring your guitar and, you know, play that song for me again, you know, up in my room, you know? And I said, well, Muddy, you know what? I live in Winnipeg. I said, I'll crawl back there on broken glass if you want me to, you know? I said, I'd be more than happy to come down. 11 o'clock in the morning, I walk into the restaurant. My hand's shaking, and I'm going, come on, calm down. Muddy crosses his arms. Said, play me that song. So I start off playing the slide on it and doing the intro, and I start singing it, and I'm trying to concentrate, you know, focus, focus, focus. After about 6 minutes, Muddy walks over to the window. He's standing there, he's looking out the window. And, he's still listening to me play, and he goes, Dave, come here, stop, come here. So I take my guitar off, and I set it down. I walk over to the window, and standing beside Muddy, we're looking out the window at the parking lot across the street from the hotel. These young guys are absolutely beating the crap out of each other. And one guy would take the guy's head and slam it into the front of a truck, and the guy falls on the ground. He scoops the other guy's feet out from under him, and he elbows him in the throat. The guy starts hemorrhaging. I mean, they're seriously trying to kill each other. And Muddy all of a sudden starts bobbing up and down. Man, says, Dave, says, your guy's losing. I said, what? My guy? Next thing you know, the two of us, I'm going, come on, left hook, man, hook him, you know. Here I am with the father of electric blues rooting on a street fight out the window of the hotel.
Muddy Waters will be our president.
Yeah, we're pulling into Memphis, Tennessee. I'm driving the car, and
stay in the right lane.
We're lost, and our GPS Gertie is sending us in circles. So, hey everybody, on our way. Yeah, this is the highway Muddy took from Clarksdale to Memphis, and Memphis to Chicago, and that's where he set up camp. Yeah, I found out yesterday my brother passed away. He was excited for me. I was going to Mississippi, and I made a grant.
All right.
Make coffee. Yeah.
What we do is grind the coffee. You always grind your coffee. You don't buy that darn stuff that's already ground because the alkaloids will stay, but the esters are gone within hours of when you grind that coffee. Yes, if the milk were not available, then what I would be using, what I have already this morning, is Denali Extreme Maximum Fudge Mousse Tracks. And this is the chocolatiest freaking chocolate ice cream you ever saw. You check this stuff out. Ordinarily, the filter would not even be like this. We will be using that machine, which was a DeLonghi 12-cup coffee machine I saved from a Lowe's hardware compactor while driving.
God bless you. Mother Teresa lives in the form of watermelon slim.
Oh, I wonder if she drank coffee. I'm betting she drank tea. I'm betting she was a tea drinker. Perfectly timed. It's going to come out to 4 perfect cups of coffee.
The master.
It is practically Zen. You are your coffee.
And they're off. You see that? I say your part. Left them down to women. Left them down to girls. Left them down to women, y'all. Ain't nothing in the whole wide world.
Dave has so many stories about the people that he's met and the blues artists that he loves. And I was with him when he met Johnny Shines for the first time at the Winnipeg Folk Festival, and Sam Chapman. I love those stories about Dave meeting Muddy Waters and writing that great song, Muddy Waters for President. Those connections to Dave are so incredibly important. That's what he lives for. And now Watermelon Slim, what a great connection. The two of them have so much in common, I think, that it's going to be really interesting to see what comes out of this.
I first heard the blues in 1954. I tell people, well, yeah, I was partially raised in the South by black women, and that's part of the reason that I came to have the blues. My mother and her second husband did allow me to listen to a lot of stuff. I heard everything from big band swing music to doo-wop and real old R&B, to the Ukrainian National Choir, to Swan Lake. I heard it all. Who's been here since I've been gone? Get a bitty boy, got a derby on. How do I know? He left his hat right there on my bureau, where my hat ought to be. 6 and 7/8.
For me, I think it was the British invasion bands that opened the door to the blues. Most of those bands, especially the London-based bands, were heavily inspired by the blues. So, you know, you followed the music of the Rolling Stones and the Yardbirds and Manfred Mann, and so many of those early British blues bands. They led you to the Chicago blues artists like Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf.
Unbelievable. Muddy's House.
That led you to the Delta blues and Memphis, and so just like, you know, one thing led to another. And for me, that was I love that process of learning, and I'm still doing it every day now.
Play it.
Wow. Coolest stuff ever. The original Robert Johnson 78s has played on one of these old machines. This is amazing. I never thought I'd ever see this.
Blues is regional music. It's endlessly fascinating. The characters involved are endlessly fascinating. And the music that came out of each of those regions is distinctive.
We owe a debt of gratitude to people who created the sound, but now we can create our own sound, and I mean, it has just as much credibility as anybody. These are the folks that started it, and we go, absolutely, you know, kudos to that. But I mean, there is a history of all these other people that have done things, you know. I mean, I've been playing blues in Canada for 40 years. Okay, well, that's my little contribution, you know. Like, blues is something you have to really feel it, you know. It's like, it's easy to go and paint by the numbers and learn a bunch of licks and say, oh, look what I learned. I can do this Stevie Ray Vaughan thing. And I'm going, well, yeah, but you know the biggest difference is Stevie Ray Vaughan played with passion and soul and heart. That is the main thing. You got to have the heart first.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Just with weapons, whatever.
As a person, he is who he is, regardless of where he is or who he's with. I would say, for the most part, that's how I know Dave to be. He really feels, I think, a debt of gratitude at times to his fans, and goes out of his way to be approachable and accessible and friendly. For me, there's some boundaries that kind of get blurred in all of that for me. But that, again, speaks to who Dave is.
Woke up this morning, feel right from the shoes. I mother had them mean old walking blues when I woke up this morning. I feel right from my shoes. Yeah, you know about that, I got them mean old walking blues. I'm leaving this morning, we got to go right to
Dave was a very wild man in his youth, and had quite a propensity for alcohol and alcohol-fueled stories. So it was a huge part of the struggle for us and his career.
That's a shot from the bad old days. And that old guitar that he's got there, that National, it goes with him damn near every place he goes. Got more dents on it and more sweat, blood, and tears on it than any other guitar that he owns.
In his early days, he was quite the drinker, and it was exciting because anything could happen. The energy level was incredible. He was really going for the gold. He could be lying on the stage, basically looking like he was unable to move and needed ambulance attendance. And when it came for the start of the set, he was up and he would do it, and do it in a big way.
I know there's lots of great, crazy stories of Dave's adventures under the influence of alcohol. But yeah, that stretch here in, I guess, the early mid-90s, that was not a glorious time. It was pretty dark. And I think we were all really concerned for him. I mean, I know we all were. We marveled at some of the things that he was able to do and remain standing.
Two brothers up in Stony Mountain, and I don't know what to do. Our black night is falling. Ooh, gee, how I hate to be alone.
Dave basically got kicked out of his house by his wife, and during that time period, he was dark. He would play slow blues tunes, and the most achy, his pain was coming across. It was unbelievable.
And it was amazing to see how far into that he could go and why he really needed to be completely sober.
Well, I don't know. I gave up smoking cigarettes 20 years ago, I bet. And drinking probably the same, 15, 20. I don't know how long it's been, because, I mean, I quit. And I don't keep track, because I quit. I quit for good. So why bother keeping track? When you look at it that way, it's like, yeah, you almost, well, that's been long. I could probably handle it now, you know. It's like, but no, it's like, I know that, no, I don't think I would. I think I'd probably just go back into full gear, and that's not going to happen, you know.
Wonder I got an extra.
You are the queen of kindness. Thanks. When are you going to quit smoking?
I did. 2 days, just a little while ago.
She did quit. I did. What, how many minutes? 20? Half hour?
2 days.
2 days. Well, that's a start. Good for you.
No, it isn't a start.
get
I'm
that
not
in your
going to
head.
stop. So that's it.
Yes, you should stop.
At my age, all the damage is done.
I get up to a tent every day. So on a good day when it's sunny, how far do you walk?
25 blocks.
25 blocks. Yeah.
2.5 one way for coffee, 2.5 back to my place. Then afternoon coffee, 10 blocks there and 10 blocks back. So you add them up and that comes out to 25 blocks a day.
I made a fresh pot just for
she
you.
made a fresh
so
pot just for you. You better don't insult the cook.
What a guy. Biggest influence on me in blues music is Big Dave McLean, and that's no shit. He is my friend. Yeah. And not only me, some of the rock stars, the young kids in town too, like Jordan Cook, monster guitar player. He may even be in town, and if Dave's in town, you might even see the kid here.
So I would say the first memory that I remember from back then was I got this slide from Dave, and this was actually the first guitar I'd ever seen him play, and I'm very thankful to have this now. And I would say the first thing he taught me was something like this, where there was almost percussion happening at the same time as playing, which to me is still something I use, I would say, daily.
Dave's mentored so many kids from young, getting them confident about coming up on stage and that it's okay to express themselves, and he encourages them, and he makes them to feel like they're just at one with the rest of the blues community.
Anyway, we'll work on that next one.
That's definitely.
Yeah. But get that first part down. You don't even have to go to this. You go ba da 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 ba da da, so ba da boom boom.
And those who didn't even stay with music, we just know that they became confident professional young adults and adults because of some of their experience at being able to learn to express themselves.
There you go. You got it.
Dave will have a good legacy. No question about it. I mean, he has influenced a lot of people. He has kept a tradition alive for quite a few people for a long time. Part of his legacy will be a few young guys whose favorite story will be the time that Dave let them use his guitar, but gave them a stern warning that if you break a string, I'll slit your throat. And actually, the real phrase was, you break a string, I'll slit your fucking throat. You can use that if you want.
1750. Wouldn't miss this for the world, man. I'll tell you every time you're here.
Hey.
That's what I want to see, man.
Oh, thanks, Jay.
I love you with all my heart. Nobody more deserving than you of what's going on here.
I would rather be the devil than to be that woman's man. I said I would rather be the devil than to be that woman's man. Now you know only the devil can change my baby's mind. My baby's not around. Standing there waiting. My baby's not around. Sometimes I wonder if my baby's sinking down. Sink on down, baby.
That's awesome. Right on, man. How long have you been playing blues in out of Clarksville?
I came here on the radio, WROX. We had a radio show, which the radio station is still here today.
Right.
And so that's kind of how I kind of maneuvered myself into the blues scene around here.
Did you grow up with the whole history of Robert Johnson and Muddy Waters and
Well,
Wolf
see,
and Sonny Boy and all the
I grew up
old guard?
Yeah, I grew up listening to their music.
Sure.
There was an old guy named Ned Bowles that used to buy whiskey from my daddy. He knew Robert Johnson. He played with him and stuff. And I mean, his style of playing was just like Robert Johnson.
I was going to ask you about Robert Johnson is buried in Greenwood, Mississippi, the old Zion, or Little Zion Church.
I think so. There are several different places that he's supposed to be buried at. You know, nothing was like today. You know, they had to hurry up and get you in the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Black folks back then, you know, didn't have hearses and stuff, so more than likely he was taken to the cemetery in a wagon.
Right.
Okay. And so they had to get him to the closest one.
Yeah. I remember talking to Honey Boy Edwards about that because he was there that night.
That's right.
And he was saying that. He said that there were everybody walked to the gigs because there was no cars around.
That's right. No.
And a lot of the black folk back then couldn't afford a doctor. It's a thrill to be here and meet a lot of the folks like yourself that you know, are keeping it totally real and totally putting it out to the world, you know, because you get the whole world dropping by here, I'm sure.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
when my baby died. She liked a whole lot of loving and all.
Yes, sir. Pleased to meet you. My name is Paul. I'm from New York.
Oh, right on, Paul. Cut them bright lights on. Get out on the highway. Cut them bright lights on.
It was the first time we went to Chicago, and we went to the Checkerboard Lounge, which was a club that, Muddy had played at for years, and that I know walking into that club for the first time was a very emotional moment for Dave.
And the Checkerboard Lounge had that stink that every blues fan wants to be in. Like, it just had a smell, an essence. There was something about being in there that just brought you closer to the people that you read about. You know, the musicians that you sat down and put on headphones and just got lost in that blues nirvana. And that's what the Checkerboard Lounge was. And it wasn't just for myself. I could see it in Dave's face. I could see it in Patty's face. We were just ecstatic. It was like the perfect place, the perfect night, and the perfect time.
I have no doubt that the moment he was in Clarksville, he would have the same kind of response. It would be very emotional for him, and containing all that for Dave would be a challenge, because he wouldn't want to get all mushy. But he probably felt like a puddle emotionally in all of it, because it was a dream come true.
That ought to do it. Let me introduce this gentleman here to you, as long as we're started with this. I've known Big Dave for about 7 or 8 years, from nearly the first time I ever come to Canada. Now, Canada is a place that knows how to run a festival in any temperature. It doesn't matter how cold it is. Dave McLean has toured for decades around the great nation of Canada, and this is his first trip to Mississippi. He's always wanted to come here for many, many years. He's wanted to come here. Dave has played with Muddy Waters and many other of the great blues artists of the last century, some of whom survived to this century too. But I want to introduce to you multi-Juno and Maple Award-winning bluesman from Winnipeg, Canada, Big Dave McLean.
Thanks, Slim. It's an honor and a privilege to be down here in Clarksdale at the Juke Joint Festival. This is top of my bucket list. I had the pleasure of playing with some of the Delta greats and some of the Chicago greats, and I want to play some of the tunes that have been dear to me ever since I got hooked on this beautiful music. I'm going to start off with one of my all-time favorites. This is by Muddy Waters. It's called Feel Like Going Home. Late over in the evening, boys, I feel like blowing my horn. When I woke up this morning, all I had was gone. I said, now, late over in the evening, this morning. All I had was gone.
I've only been painting seriously this century since, 2001 or so, 2000. I'm not a great artist, but I've learned a few things. I'm a generalist. My degree, both my degrees are degrees of generalists, especially the master's degree. As my thesis advisor said, Bill, you're not really an academic. And we all cracked up about that, but he's correct. I'm not an academic. I would never have the patience or desire to research that would make me a PhD. I just couldn't see myself doing that.
I've been quite the enabler for Dave, in that I just admire and appreciate and respect his passion, and I believe in him as an artist and a portrayer of the blues. It's been responsible for a lot of struggles for us in our lives, for that very reason, financially. It's a tough way to make a living, and it's a tough way to raise a family.
Sometimes it's like, you want your kids to have something and you can't afford to give it to them. You want them to be able to vacation somewhere, but you can't afford to take them on a vacation. And it's like, those are the times when you really feel small and just, like you're just not pulling the weight that you should be.
They just look right at me. Muttering.
That's me. It's the Brady one.
No, that's more like it, actually. No one here is joking.
How about one of those?
Not allowed.
No humor.
This is my family. I love the business. I do. I love performing for people. I love it when they appreciate what I have to offer them, or I love meeting the other people that are in the business that have the same appreciation and love for the music that I love so much,
It's been a good life. It's been a hard life, but it's been a good life.
So I got a feeling we're in the oldest graveyard in Friars Point, but I don't believe that this is where Robert Johnson's buried. Although it doesn't really matter. I mean, this is his stomping grounds right here. You know, so I'm getting chills just thinking about it. I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome, though. I had the pleasure of doing 5 shows in Winnipeg with my band backing up Pine Top Perkins. Yeah, it was a pleasure playing with Pine Top. He was one of the best, and it was an honor for us Winnipeg boys to have the opportunity to play with such a living legend. Oh yeah, no kidding, man. Well, that says it right there, man. You may be high, you may be low. You may be rich, child, you may be poor. But when the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. Legend has it that Robert Johnson, back in the 30s, one night at midnight, he had made a pact with the devil that he could have his soul in exchange for the ability to play anything he wanted to on the guitar. Slim and I were both told by some of the older folks that there was a graveyard maybe 100 yards down 61 from the crossroads, and if indeed there was a place to sell your soul to the devil, this would probably be where that transaction would happen.
1873. Some of these may actually be older. Everybody will tell you about the crossroads. There's 3 or 4 different places they'll point you to, including that place with the guitars downtown. That, as Deke would say, is the Hollywood crossroads. Where 61 and 49 met at that point, because that was a farmer's road. 61 was the north-south highway, but 49 was not as big as what it is now. And so somewhere right around here, if there was a deal made, it was probably made. And looking at what we have here, if there was a deal made in a graveyard, this is the place it was made.
When a woman gets in trouble, everybody puts her down. The whole reason I wanted to play blues is because I love this music, and it's not because I grew up in the Delta or picking cotton or going to prison or any of that. These songs, these beautiful songs, came from all these hardships, but the music, we gotta keep it. We gotta keep it going. It's the same reason, you know, it's nice to go see a band playing songs, you know, that Benny Goodman did and Count Basie and all these guys did, you know, back in the day. It's like, got to keep it alive. You know, those songs are just as credible today. This is a big moment for me. I've been studying Robert Johnson's music for a long time and been such a fan. Always wanted to come and pay my respects. I'm so happy to be here. It's incredible. Blues had a royalty. We're at the grave of the king. Right on.
Hey kids, Rock Ronnie coming back to you live. Here's CKW 95.9 FM. That was Detroit Frank Dumont with Let Me Be Frank. I'm sitting here now with Big Dave McLean, who has just come back from travels in Mississippi, and just wondering how the trail was and how things were down there.
You know, I've been singing Delta blues and Mississippi blues for a long time, and to actually put all the pieces together, to smell the air and walk on the ground, it meant the world to me. And I had such a wonderful time, and of course, you know, hanging out with Watermelon Slim is quite the experience too. Oh yeah.
There he is. Hey, there he is.
How are you?
How you doing?
Not bad. Welcome back.
How was the trip?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Awesome trip.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
great.
Famous world traveler.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
Dave McLean should be shown in Carnegie Hall. Dave McLean is so good at what he does. You know, it's ridiculous. And people outside of a small circle don't have a clue who he is. Well, I have a clue who he is. And the people in this room have a clue who he is. So that's pretty good.
It was written in 1927 by Barbecue Bob and his half-brother Charlie Lincoln. It's called The Atlanta Moon. Grant. Nobody knows Atlanta like I do. Reason I know travel her through and through. If you got a good woman, well, a lesson I'll give to you. If you got a good woman, well, a lesson I'll give to you. Don't take it to Atlanta. Man, take away from cut me to the bone. Cut me bad, it cut me deep. You're taking my woman and you cut me to the bone. That's the reason why every crying moan, I chop a crying moan, man. Charlie, oh, Mr. Charlie, oh. Oh, Mr. Charlie, oh, Mr. Charlie, oh. My
feet down. Oh, Mr. Charlie, oh. Bury my body 6 feet down. Oh, Mr. Charlie, oh. Bury my body 6 feet down, but my spirit won't bury down in the ground. You're never gonna stop it from coming around. Oh, Mr. Charlie, oh. Oh, Mr. Charlie, oh, Mr. Charlie, oh. Oh, Mr. Charlie, oh, Mr. Charlie, oh. Hang me from the highest tree, oh, Mr. Charlie, oh. Hang me from the highest tree, oh, Mr. Charlie, oh. You can hang me from the highest tree. You can cast my body in the deep blue sea, but you're never gonna take my spirit from me. Oh, Mr. Charlie. Oh, Mr. Charlie.